Starvation is one of mankind's greatest tragedies. Yet from the horror and destruction of World War II came a project of compassion that remains a milestone even today. Concerned with how the United States could best aid the starving populations of World War II Europe, a group of conscientious objectors like the Quakers and Mennonites volunteered to be starved so that scientists could study the physiological effects. First, the subjects were fed just enough food to maintain their starting weight. Then their daily food level was cut in half and held at this level for 6 months. Directing the study was Dr. Ancel Keys.
What happened was that very soon we found that their whole thoughts, their every day and every waking moment was thinking about food. They were not only starving, but they felt they were starving, and they talked and thought about food all the time. They also began very soon, automatically, without thinking of it, conserving on muscular activity. So when they weren't required to do something, they would sit, or better still, they would lie, and they'd be very still. During the starvation experiment, of course, we were weighing the boys almost every day very carefully to see what was happening. And at first, the weight started to go down rapidly, and then after a while more slowly. And finally, toward the end of 6 months, it was practically stationary at 25% on the average, under their starting weight. What had happened was, and this was an important discovery, was that we had arrived at a new balance point, metabolic balance point, and with less than half the calorie intake.
This finding was crucial to the understanding of starvation then and dieting now. Not only had the subjects physically conserved energy by not moving, but Dr. Keys' tests proved that their body's resting metabolic rate, the basic energy needed to fuel the vital organs, had shifted to low gear as well. This metabolic adaptation is now known also to occur in dieters and is thought to be responsible for the frustrating plateau that often plagues weight loss attempts. The Minnesota study also found that more than just metabolic changes took place in the volunteers.
The other characteristics that were important perhaps were the fact that they became more and more concerned about themselves, their thoughts. They became less and less sociable. Each person seemed to have his own inward life in which he was concerned. They lost all interest in social activities and no interest whatsoever in sex. A number of them had girlfriends around, but they had no interest in the girlfriends anymore. And they became essentially isolated individuals in which the whole world was within themselves, and they had no other interest except to take care of that one person.